Hi, Steve Goody here from Property Tutors. I've been asked quite often to explain what the property cycle actually is and what it looks like. So give us a minute and I'm going to try and explain this to you today. Property cycle means that every 7 or 8 years in Auckland and in Wellington, properties usually double in value. The interesting part about it is though, when the start of the rise in value happens, it only goes for a very short period of time. Usually it's really quite short and really intense. And so you might get a rise in value in this period of time here, and then you might have quite a few years of stagnant marketplace, if you know what I mean, if you like. So what we try to do predominantly is own as much property as possible in this period of time here, and trade and renovate and add value to properties the rest of the time. So the trick to that, I suppose, is being in the right place at the right time, getting your hands on the right properties and the right advice, predominantly also having the right funding for the marketplace so that you can make the most of this really intense lift in value. Think about Auckland in the last, say, 4 or 5 years over the last 10-year period, and this is where all of the value was made. This is where all the intense profits were made. Now, the reason I like what Property Tutors do as a whole holistically is that we trade in and out of properties all of the time. And a lot of this trading works in any point in this property cycle. The trick to it is you want to own a lot of houses when we get to this piece here. And that's what we teach, and that's what we advocate, and that's how we all made our money as well. Now, we explain this really quite well with a longer whiteboard session with more detail and in more depth at the Property Masters 2.0 event in Auckland and Wellington. We're coming up to that very shortly. There'll be details below. But what we show you is a blueprint of how to get to this position so that you're holding a lot of wealth in real estate during that boom period, so that those values lift really nicely. When those values lift, you can then take money out of those portfolio properties, pay off the house you're living in. It de-risks your entire portfolio to have a lot of real estate ownership in that period of time. We also want to show you in the rest of the marketplace, around the rest of the clock, how to use it for cash flow, how to trade property with zero risk to yourself so that you can keep your property business ticking over when the market is more quiet, but I like to think of it as more reliable and more readable. So come along to the Property Masters 2.0 event and let's take some time to explain that to you in a lot more detail.